Hey everyone, Robert Blosser here, doing a little spring cleaning in the basement, and this Wisconsin winter has actually got me pretty fired up to get back out fishing. And right now, with spring coming and some of the rivers already being open, the first thing on my mind is my jig rods. I know that's going to be the first thing I'm after. So I want to just break down a little bit for you what I look for in a jig rod and some of the components I use. The first thing I'm going to look for is a short rod. I like a 6'3" or shorter, primarily because I like to be able to control that rod easily. I'm going to be hanging on to that rod all day long, so I don't want the extra weight. And I want to be able to feel that bite as soon as possible. The shorter the rod, the shorter the distance that bite has to transfer through that graphite into your hand to actually feel what's going on. So this rod right here, this is actually my favorite jig rod. This is a St. Croix Avid 6'3" medium power. I like to couple that with a small reel. Again, we're vertical jigging. We're not going to need excessive line capacities. So I went small to stay lightweight, and it actually balances this rod really nicely, so you can hang on to this all day without any fatigue. You can look at your rod as being the most important part of your jigging. You want to not skimp on your rod. A good quality rod is something to look for. The one area, if you're going to skimp on a jig rod or a jig setup, is your reel. Now, there's only really two things to look for in a reel. A lot of guys are comfortable back reeling fish and have grown up back reeling fish and not really using a drag. And if that's the case, if that's what you like to do, you like to back reel instead of relying on a drag, a $50 reel is going to be fine for you. What I recommend is tighten your drag all the way down. That way when you set the hook, you get no drag slippage, you get a good solid hook set, and you're able to put that reel right into back reel mode and play your fish out. For me, I didn't do that. I didn't grow up back reeling. I love my drags. So I actually pay a little more for my reel. I rely on my drags a lot more. And I also go to a fire line. What I have on here is actually Berkeley Tracer Braid. This line I started using last year. It is one of the limpest super lines I have ever used. And I like the offset color pattern of this neon green to black. It enables you to tie your jig to the black portion for that invisibility mode, but it also gives you that advantage of having the neon green to either detect strikes or to be able to track your line and make sure you are completely vertical, which in most situations is very important that you do stay completely vertical. So those are a few things I look for in a jig rod, guys. Real quick, make sure you don't skimp on your rod. If you're going to skimp somewhere, be it on the reel, use a super line. It's going to help in your hookup percentage. Good fishing to you. Take care.